This video is sponsored by Vernal. For a while now, I've been searching for a new desk setup, one where I can use for work, gaming, sit or stand. It had to be minimalistic, functional, stable, and obviously look good. That's when Vernal reached out. It's like they read my mind and sent me this desk setup. Vernal specialise in sit and stand desk setups, a setup in one system. The style of desk start from a standard desk to an L-shaped desk, and up to a fancy executive version of both the standard and L-shaped setup. They come in different finishes and sizes. You can customize your setup further by adding accessories and storage solutions to truly make the setup work for you. I like how you can match the finish of the shelf and cabinets with the desk to create a unified style and aesthetic workspace. I went with their largest desk in white and decided to mix it with a light walnut desk shelf. Just by adding a bit of texture, I think it gives the setup a nice look. I found the little compartments to be surprisingly functional, as I could put my useful items on the desk in an organised way and not have everything look too cluttered. I also added a keyboard tray to the setup to store my second keyboard and mouse. I love how you can pull out this tray and rest your wrist on it whilst typing. Without the tray shaking, it's surprisingly sturdy. Assembling the desk was super easy and quick, as the desktop comes with the frame pre-assembled. All you need to do is attach the legs and plug in a few cables. However, the desk is really heavy and may require 2 people to set up. Judging by the weight of the setup, I knew it was going to be sturdy. The desk can hold an incredible amount of weight. It can lift 350 pounds. It doesn't wobble at its max height. It can go from 22.8 inches to 48.4 inches high. You can manually adjust the height or have 4 different height positions saved. And it also has some cool safety features like collision protection and a desk lock. The desk comes with a massive 15-year warranty, which should put your mind at ease. Aesthetically, I really like the look of their desk. They are incredibly stable and there are so many options to customize the setup to work for you. Vernal currently have some really exciting Black Friday deals with up to 50% off and limited free orders and desk accessories. So be sure to check it out. The link is in the video description. Thank you again to Vernal for sponsoring this video. This is by far my best desk setup. The chair I got is also from Vernal. It looks so cool from the back. The transparent mesh and white frame blends in well with the entire desk setup. There are loads of ways to adjust the chair for your comfort. The green seat might not be to everyone's taste, but I feel like it adds a nice bit of colour to the setup. It even matches the colour to this random step I bought from IKEA. But that white frame design and see-through mesh sure does look great. The most important part of the setup has got to be the PC. I went back to this classic ITX case, simply because of its performance. The look of the case goes well with the aesthetic of the desk setup. I did have the option to either use a glass side panel or a perforated one. But since the PC is placed to the left side of the desk, I opted for the perforated panel. For the CPU, I'm using a 7950X 3D. I feel like this has the perfect balance for both gaming and productivity. The CPU runs incredibly hot, so I had to pair it up with a beefy CPU cooler and some high-end Noctua fans to keep the temps and noise down. For RAM, I have 2 sticks of 32GB DDR5, so 64GB in total. Storage-wise, I'm using a Gen 5 4TB M.2 drive as my main drive for work, and a Gen 4 4TB M.2 for games. A massive 8TB in total for this gaming/work PC. Finally, for graphics, I'm using an RTX 4080 Super, specifically a SFF-ready GPU. It's designed for small ITX cases like this one. It's compact in size with plenty of power. There's even room for 2 slim case fans at the bottom to blow cool air directly into the card, and there's more room for the PSU cables to fit perfectly in the gap at the end of the GPU. Overall, I like the look of it inside. Obviously, it doesn't matter as it will be covered up anyway, but you can expect this PC to perform well. I ran GTA 5 at max settings at 3440 by 1440 at 100Hz, as that was the monitor's max refresh rate. Temps stayed around 60 degrees for both GPU and CPU, with around 80 FPS, and with the fans hardly making any noise. When I ran Cinebench with the CPU on full load, the fans were at 100%. You can certainly hear the fans this time around, but to me the noise wasn't that bad. It was like soft white noise. At idle, the PC is dead silent. For my second monitor, I chose to use a small portable 17-inch OLED touchscreen. I didn't want another big screen taking up space on the desk. I really like the touchscreen capability. I can play games and seamlessly look over to the touchscreen monitor and scroll through websites, play videos, or have Discord up. I think the small touchscreen monitor and the ultra-wide monitor make a good match on this desk setup. It certainly works for me in terms of workflow, but at the same time, if I ever needed to use this as a portable monitor to go along with my laptop, I can just take it off the monitor arm and pack it in my bag. I do tend to use my MacBook Pro for working on the go, but when I'm at home, I would normally hook it up to the ultra-wide monitor to continue working. A cool feature that I like at the moment is iPhone screen mirroring. It allows me to control my iPhone via the Mac. My main keyboard is a 75% wireless mechanical keyboard, which I use for gaming. I can switch between PC and Mac if I need to, and the keyboard sounds decent. But I mainly got it for its aesthetic and keyboard configuration. Mouse-wise, I've been using this one for years. There really isn't much to say about it other than it's super light and good for gaming. And in the keyboard pull-out tray, I have a spare keyboard and mouse, mainly to use for the Mac, but also for PC for when I feel like a change, or if the other setup runs out of battery. This keyboard is super heavy, but I really like the look of the gradient keycaps and how it sounds when typing. This mouse is also a lot like the Logitech Superlight. It's very lightweight and it performs well. Its key differences is obviously the color, but it has both Bluetooth and 2.4 GHz wireless connectivity, and it's slightly smaller. This is my new favorite gaming controller. It looks like an Xbox pad with a similar layout, but it has a small screen in the middle, which you can use to configure and customize the mapping of each button, turn on turbo mode, and much more. Tucked away in this convenient compartment is a device I use alongside a pair of AR glasses. I've already done a review on these two, so I won't go into too much detail. If you are after a pair of really good monitor glasses to watch movies, work or play games, these are fantastic. They look like sunglasses and are comfortable to wear. You can plug it into most devices like a phone, tablet or computer, and it will display a private 130-inch screen in the glasses. And when you pair it up with this device, it will unlock some cool AR features. I will leave a link to my review in the video description. These wireless earbuds are one of my favorite accessories. It took me a while to find a pair that I can use for gaming. They are small, light, wireless, in-ear with a built-in mic. It comes with a USB-C wireless dongle that also has a 27-watt pass-through. I haven't experienced any lag when it came to competitive gaming, and the mic is nice and clear, which were the two important features I needed. Sound-wise, they are decent, but nothing special, and they can be used on other devices too, like a phone, console, or a VR headset. Here, I'm using this compact and simple audio interface that's designed for mic and instrument inputs. You can control the input levels of what's connected and the volume level from the computer, and output the levels you want to hear from between the two. I've paired it up with this microphone, which you might have seen around on a lot of podcast channels. I use it mainly to record voiceovers like this one, and for gaming when I'm not using the wireless earbuds. The tone you get from this mic is full and bassy, with hardly any background noise because it's generally used for close range speaking. It's attached to this really cool mount that's easy to adjust, allowing you to freely move it around into any position and hold it into place. I've also got these earphones that I use to monitor a lot of my recordings and even game with, especially in competitive games where I need to hear footsteps. The bass and mids are average, but the high end is crisp with clear details. I like to have plants around my setup to give the space a touch of nature, as I'm heavily surrounded by so much tech. Sure, half the plants are fake because there isn't much light in that corner, but the other half by the window is real at least. My cable management is half organized and could do with some work for sure, but most of it's hidden anyway. Something I would recommend, if you plan to use a cheap monitor arm for your desk, make sure you place a thin block of wood in between the clamp and desk. This stops the mount damaging the desk, as using a heavy monitor, particularly if it's mainly on one side, can damage your desk. Hopefully this setup gives you some ideas to create a new setup or add to an existing one. Let me know what I can do to improve this setup, as I'm sure there's a lot. As always, everything will be linked in the video description. Thanks for watching.